Hello there, it's JP1970, and I'm from northeastern Nevada. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to look at some comments posted about the most recent video I did on the new Pan America from Harley Davidson. If you haven't had a chance to look at that video, I'll put a link to it right up here. So let's see what folks had to say about this thing. A lot of people had things to say about the new Harley Davidson Pan America. Let's take a look. All right, so Ron C. says, I've found that the riding position of adventure bikes is so comfy. A good move by Harley Davidson. Now Harley folks can get into the adventure world and still be Harley folks. Yeah, you almost bought that, Pa. So what he's referring to is when I test rode the new Harley Davidson Pan America, I took it off-road briefly for about, like, I don't know, a second. And I hit this gravel and the front wheel wanted to wash out and I almost dumped it. But thankfully, that didn't happen. All right, thanks, Ron C. Ray FPV, one of my drone subscribers, says, beautiful bike, JP1970. Thank you very much, Ray. Thank you very much. Yeah, I agree. Chopper Fett, good old Chopper Fett says, oh, JP had to change his pants, I bet. You're close. You're close. It was a little sketchy. I don't know, as you guys who ride know, when that front wheel, goes to wash out, bad things usually follow. But thankfully, I was able to correct it and not dump that bike. That would have been kind of a bummer. So, let's see. Chip Seal Rider says, heck of a bike. I hope they sell more of them than they can build. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this new bike from Harley Davidson does. You know, I don't know. I don't know. I'll give my thoughts at the end of this video. Kind of my takeaway from it. Girl vs. Life down in Bayou Canyon says, that is a great looking bike. Gravel is the bane of my existence. Awesome vid, bro. Be safe. Thanks, girl. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is a great looking bike, and I definitely agree. It's definitely a different bike from Harley. So, all right, Brian Ford down there in California says, I just can't get on board with this bike. The engine is awesome. It is totally cool. They let you take it for a spin. Lucky man. Yeah, I guess so. I guess a lot of dealerships, aren't letting people take these bikes out? Thankfully, my little Harley Davidson dealer here in Elko did. Although, as you noticed, if you saw the video, a salesman went with me. I've had that guy let me test ride bikes before, and he just let me go. But it was not the case with this one. All right. Randy's Rides up there in Canada says, kind of looks like a KLR. I still think for 20 grand, I'd buy a nice cruiser and a dual sport from Honda. Well, that's kind of what I have. I have my Honda Goldwing, which is a nice cruiser. Well, nice touring cruiser. No, it's not a cruiser at all. I have a Honda and a Harley Davidson V-Rod. So yeah, I get that. I get that. All right, Tekken Moto says, went to website, no price listed. I think I would buy a BMW or Honda before I spent whatever it costs for one of these. I don't see this model lasting long. Well, there is that opinion, Tekken Moto. We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell, as it always does. NVA Rider says, very nice. I think they hit it out of the park with this one. Well, quite possibly they did. It'll be interesting to see what the Harley crowd thinks of this new bike. Susan says, glad you enjoyed your test ride. Thank you, Susan. Me too. And I'm glad I didn't dump it. Because as you know, I can only store 2 bikes where I live, and I've already got 2. So, Joseph Griffin says, very nice. All right, thank you. Nona Grace from Western New York says, hi, Jason. The gravel was tricky. The front wanted a wheelie. I think there is a rider that will like that bike. Glad you got to ride. Thanks, Nona. Me too. Yeah, I absolutely agree. Gravel is tricky, and the front wheel did want to come up on that thing, which I was only in rain mode, and somebody mentions this in a later comment, and let me talk about that real quick. So the salesman, when I went to take off, he went through the modes with me, and he showed me how to use the modes. but he requested that I just leave it in rain mode. So I did. Okay. Guy's a friend of mine, you know, he's the local salesman at the local Harley Davidson dealer. So he requested it, so I just left it that way. So I wasn't even tapping into the full potential of that bike. But what I had in rain mode was enough. Let's see. Moto Vrenden D. Palliatiers says, yes, Harley Davidson has to move with the times and do think they will score with this Pan America. Nothing but good to hear about. Ride safe and don't drop the bike. You got that right. And don't drop the bike. You got that right. All right. Carlos Thomas says, you rode the entire ride in rain mode. Okay, this is that comment. And you're right, Carlos Thomas. I did, because the salesman just requested that I leave it in rain mode. Yes, I was using less than 100% versus the entire 150. They did tell me about the modes. They just requested that I not use them. So, got to respect that. Mr. G, 1965, says, thumbs up, man. I thought you were going to knock the polish off. Yeah, me too. Made me a little nervous. You guys that ride motorcycles know what it's like when that front end just kind of goes a little squirrely. Not a good feeling. And Jet Pilot says, he says, this is about a different video. He's talking about my he's talking about my Honda Goldwing. He says he has a 2020 Road Glide Special and loves it. Honestly, I'm scared to test drive a Goldwing. Have way too much money and upgrades on my bike. Yeah, I hear you. I traded in a Harley Davidson Heritage that I'd put thousands of dollars into. It was a drag. But anyway, Viper 6 says, yep, you came close to dumping it. And there's a guy who knows. He rides for sure. All right. PNW Rider. The suspension is adjustable up and down. I used to have an 1150 GS and the Tiger 800 and done a lot of the trails and gravel. The Harley is a better bike. This will push BMW, I suspect. Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting what happens with this bike. Let me read one more comment, and then I'll tell you what I think. I don't know. Fox, the cutest dog in the West, says, first to like, watching ads. It doesn't sound like a Harley. It sounds electric. Nice test drive. All right, so, yes, you are correct. I agree with that. I agree with all that and more. So, as far as getting a chance to test ride the new Harley Davidson, I was very grateful for the opportunity, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Personally, that bike is not for me. I'm more of a, if I wanted to ride dirt, I would get a dirt bike, I think. And if I want to ride street, which is what I prefer, I would get a street bike. I'm sorry, there's all this shadow on this side of my face. Hold on. Let me see if I can fix that. So yeah, I mean, as far as the new bike from Harley Davidson, I think a certain person is going to like that bike, and it's going to be for them. My experience is I've had dual sport bikes in the past. I had a Honda what did I have? A Honda CRF 250L that was, part street bike, part dirt bike, and quite frankly, it didn't do either one particularly well. It was okay. And I don't really see how this Harley Davidson, I don't see how this Pan America is, really going to do both things well. The videos I've seen on the bike look pretty impressive, so maybe I'm wrong. I could absolutely be wrong, which happens pretty much daily. So, listen, everybody, I don't know. So it's kind of a wait and see, and that's what I'm going to do. I will not be rushing out and buying one of these bikes, although I almost did when I almost dumped it, but thankfully that didn't happen. So, anyway, thank you so much for checking out this video. Once again, this is JP1970, and I'm from Northeastern Nevada. I'll see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.